So you can see that Ollie has got a new position today. He's obviously far too tired to make his way on top of the photocopier. So we'll just have to see how the direction goes from there. Don't look particularly engaged to me, don't Ollie? But it's good of you to join me anyway, at least. So hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. I do have another little friend behind me as well, but he's fast asleep. That's Timon. I suspect he'll sleep his way through it. So I wanted to get back today to the idea of simple stamping, which was something that was mentioned when we all went to on stage back in November last year, which kind of seems like a lifetime ago. And the problem is you get a new catalogue comes out and you get overwhelmed with all the new products that you've got to have and all the new punches and the new framelits and etc etc. So the sort of idea of simple stamping went out the window a little bit. Now we did do one the other day with the little rabbit card, the one before last. That was literally just stamping in a card. But I just wanted to revisit that idea of cards that you can make with very little equipment. So I'm going to start off with this little card here, and that literally just features a note card and some stamping. Now within the catalogue there are various options of, here, are you coming up or I'm thinking about it? Okay, various options of note cards and envelopes that are available. You're making me nervous with my coffee and everything. Right, are you there? You're in position now, are you? I don't think we want that view, if you don't mind. That's it. Good boy. I need a sip of coffee after that. Those antics. Right, so as I was saying, within the catalogue there are options of note cards and envelopes, which basically means that you don't even have to have a trimmer or to even cut the card out. So the ones I'm using today are the note cards and envelopes which are in the annual catalogue, which I'm hoping I can find quite quickly. So that's cameraman getting himself comfortable. So they are £6 for a pack of 20 cards and envelopes, and you can get those either in Whisper White or Very Vanilla. I'm getting signs that they're not coming through. But anyway, they're basically like this. So you get the card, you get the envelope, it's pre-scored, so you literally just have to fold it in two. So it really can't be much easier than that. Even I can do it. But there are other options as well, such as these packs of the Memory and More cards. So again, these are packs of 10 cards, I believe. Yeah. So again, you've got your envelopes and a slightly bigger card, and you've got the smaller card with the envelope. Now these are designed for the Memories and More packs that you'll see within the catalogue, but there's absolutely no reason why you can't just buy these and use them as your base cards for various projects. So, and they are, if I write them down, no, I probably didn't, I'll try and remember to look those up, but I'll certainly put the details on the front of the video. So we're going to start with 2 ink pads, which will be a cost of £7 each, and I've got lovely lipstick and I've got Granny Green Apple. No surprise they really aren't, is it? One of my favourite colours, or two of my favourite colours. Now I've chosen to use the beautiful Bouquet stamp set, which I know you will have seen me use an awful lot already in videos. The reason I'm going with this one is because there are lots of nice floral images that you can use, but there's also an array of sentiments that you can also use. Now again, within the catalogue there are loads and loads of different stamp sets, and my choice, to be fair, isn't necessarily going to be yours. But if you're just starting out, then my recommendation is to have a look through and pick a set like this that's got a mixture of sentiments and some sort of design. It doesn't have to be flowers, but it's just so that you've got something to work with as you start your card making journey. You will also need at least one block, acrylic block. Now I've got a D block here, which in all honesty will work for the stamps within this set. You might have to put them diagonally or whatever, but you can work with just one block if you want to. And one of those would cost £8. Now again, with this I would normally go with a longer block, but it will fit across the block like that. So I'm going to start with my Granny Green Apple. And I'm going to stamp that across the front of the card towards the bottom of the card, because I want my sentiment at the top there. And my lovely lipstick. Now, I'm seriously going to try not to do what I did in the last video and get that all over my fingers and then stick it all over the card, but who knows. That's the plan. Now you could use that block, and to prove it I will just stamp it on my pad there. Get some ink on it. Not inking it that well. There we go. Personally, I prefer to work with a smaller block, I have to say, so I would think it's worth the investment of perhaps a B block, which is going to cost you £5.50. I'm just cleaning that off. So if you're new to card making, then you'll find my videos very informative because I make so many mistakes. So you'll be at home really. So I'm going to try and line the flower head up with the various ends of the stems. As I said before, I think it's always good to keep the errors in because we all make them. We all get stamps that don't get the right amount of ink on, or we get ink on our fingers and stick it where we shouldn't. The worst that happens is you've wasted a piece of card, and it really seriously is not the end of the world. So that's my flowers. Cleaning off my stamp because I want that again. Now I want to add a little bow to that, so I'm going to take that out of there. Put that on there. I'm just going to go for somewhere around the bottom here of the stems. I just got quite a bit of ink on the block there, so I don't necessarily want to take the chance. I'm just going across the centre, and I've got a little bow with my flowers. Before I put that away, I want to add a sentiment. Now, whilst I said I was going to put the sentiment up there, I think it's actually going to work better down there on this card. I put it there last, but obviously the flowers, yeah, this was slightly lower down, so there was a bit more room. So I personally think that works better on that side. So I'm going to just grab a piece of, oh sorry Olive, were you asleep? Were you away with the fairies, were you? Sorry. Try and get it the right way up. It's always a good way, isn't it? So I'm going to stick that in the right hand corner, and then I have a card which is very simple to make but very pretty. Try and get your hand in the video again, will you? I'm trying to be very helpful on the last video and move a stamp set, and we got Jim's hand in it. The only problem was that he'd been gardening the day before, so not only was it his hand, but there was a lot of blood in it, like a bloody scratch, which didn't look that good on camera, but I think there was a rose bush to blame for that. So I'm stamping off the first stamp of that. I'll find the words. So I'm getting a paler image, and then I'm going to go with the complete ink on that one, so I'm getting the paler bits underneath with the darker image. Now the reason I've done that is just to make the envelope a little bit prettier, just to give you the full experience of a handmade card. If you buy a card, 99% of the time it's a very boring white envelope, so it's always nice to just add that little bit of extra.
Excuse me.
Oh, you want a speaking part now as well, do you? I've got competition going on in this house. Right, so that's our first card. What could we possibly do to just enhance that a little bit? Well, this was the next idea I came up with. So it's basically the same card, but what I've done to that, which I've actually forgotten to do inside, is to add the little bit of detail that matches the envelope. So bear with me, I'll just do that. When you've got a dark colour like Lovely Lipstick, it lends itself to stamping off the colour so that you can bring in sort of two depths of colour using the same ink pad. So, as I was saying, what can we do to that? Well, we could get some Wink of Stella, which just adds a little bit of shimmer to our project, and you just gently go over the leaves. I'm doing it inside as well, just to tie the front in with the inside. You just have to be a little bit careful with the Lovely Lipstick that it does tend to, this acts more like a blender pen, so it's not a problem because I'm going Lovely Lipstick over Lovely Lipstick, but just do be aware of that. If you're merging into another colour, you can pick up some pink on it. if that happens, you just need to just clean your nib a little bit, or your brush basically. So I won't worry with the envelope. I'm going to go over the card front. Let's talk amongst yourselves. Trouble is, I couldn't do part of this before because I wanted to do the card from scratch. So we've got a full house now. Marley has just joined us. At least when you're all in here, I know what you're doing. It's always a bonus, isn't it? So I love, if you watch my videos or you follow me at all on Facebook or Instagram, I'm now on Pinterest as well, but if you follow me on a regular basis, you'll know that I am totally obsessed with Wink of Stella, purely because it's a very reasonably priced product, actually £7.50, and it just adds that extra bit of shimmer to a project. It just gives it that little bit of extra detail. Now, it's a very dull day, I have to say, so we're probably not going to pick that up on camera in any way, shape or form, if I'm honest, but it's there, and when it catches the light, it just gives that little shimmer effect. So to finish that card off, I'm going to use these metallic pearls, which are £6.50, and you get some gold ones and you get some silver ones. I'm going to go with the silver ones. I'm going to attempt to use this new pickup tool. Can you not have a fight while I'm doing a video? Is that bed not big enough for both of you? I'm going to use my fingers. I'll loosen it with that, I think, but the trouble is I had to do housework last week, which is always a pain. Can you stop that, please? I've lost most of my nails. And there comes a time though when you have to put your craft stuff away and accept that you have to do housework. As I said, I've finally found myself on Pinterest. I have to say technology is not my friend. So I've had to, since joining Stamping Up, I've had to really get to grips with things like Facebook and YouTube and all the rest of it. So Pinterest I've just got onto, and I've come across some fabulous crafting quotations. So if you fancy, have a pop over to my Pinterest boards. There's one that I've set up purely for those quotations, and they are hilarious. If you're an avid crafter, then practically every quote on there you just totally relate to. So I'll put those away. So just by adding those little embellishments, it's just brought another dimension to that very simple card, and just by adding the little one in the middle to the bow, it's just covered up the little bit of the green that was showing through. So that's a very simple card to make, but the end result I think is very pretty. I've got to admit I'll add the embellishments to that one as well now I've finished with the filming. I just think they're great cards to have to hand when I want a thank you card. So stepping it up a bit from that, what if you want to add a little bit more detail? So we could go, sorry, how long? 20 minutes, right, okay. So I've certainly got time for this one. I might have to come back and do the other one. So stepping it up a bit, as I say, we could start to introduce some designer series paper. Now I'm using, that's the one I used on that card, but I'm actually going to use this one, this card, and that is from the All My Love designer series paper. So normally designer series paper, unless it's a speciality one, costs around £10.25, and you get 12 sheets, 6 double-sided designs, so there's a lot of choice. So you could go with that side, you could go with that side, and I'm also adding in some cardstock, so a little bit more complicated and a little bit more needed with regard to supplies, but not mega amounts, and you're going to make an awful lot of cards with this amount of designer series paper. So again, I've got my little note card, and I've cut the designer series paper at 3 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've got 2 pieces in that size. I'm going to stick one on the front. Back to sleep now, Ollie, are you? Got that little, almost little hearts at the back there. So I'm going to stick that onto my inside. Now I'm going to make an anniversary card with this one. So I'm going to use this stamp here which says, "Wishing you a day of love and happy memories." I want a lovely lipstick. Try and put that on straight. It's always a good sign. Good thing to do. I love the font of this particular stamp set as well. I think it's really pretty, delicate and pretty. So much better than my writing. So the trouble is though, I have to spoil it and then write my own message on it. Sign my name. Never mind. So I'm going to stick that on the inside. Now on this one I'm going to mount the white onto the red. Now that showed up, excuse me, that showed up quite well on that paper, but I just want to actually, because it's going, it's not red actually, it's lovely lipstick, because it's lovely lipstick on top of lovely lipstick, I just want to make this stand out a bit better. A bit of glue up this end as well. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take my Wink of Stella, squeeze down some of the liquid, and I'm literally going to just run that over the card. Not all over it, I just want the edges of it, but I want to make sure that I've got enough on there so that the white covers it, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to be a little bit over generous, but purely because I want to make sure that I cover element of the lovely lipstick cardstock. So I'm guesstimating this. But again, all that's going to do is just pick up the light when the card is out in some daylight. The last video, which was on Friday, we were struggling to deal with the sun that was coming through. Today we're trying to deal with not getting lost in the cloud. So that will make sure you've got everything covered. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to stick that down onto the middle of the card. So moving on to the actual front of the card, I want that one and I want that one. So you see there's lots of choices of different flowers and stems and the like. So just make sure I get my so there's probably room for about 3 blooms on there. I'm going to start them right at the bottom this time, and I don't need the whole stem, so I'm just going to stamp onto the card the amount that I actually want. Have a full one going up the middle. And another one just going up here. And I'm going to take that floral stamp there, so I'm going to try and position, I'll start with the middle one. I'm just fitting this in, so it will mean that in this card they're slightly stamped off of the page. And then I need to add my sentiment, which is going to be no, not that one. Happy anniversary. Now, what I'm doing with my stamps is not the best plan, I have to say, because you can easily lose them. So don't do as I'm doing. Make sure that you when you take them off your block, you put them away, because you can seriously spend a very long time looking for things that you had 5 minutes ago. I say this because I've done it. I haven't actually got to the point where I've had to go through the vacuum bag yet, but I suspect that's only a matter of time. So again, I'm going to just pretty this up with a little bit of Wink of Stella. It's going to tie it in with, I won't do the middle bit. Actually, I will do a very quick bit over there. As I say, this will blend the colour slightly, but it's not a problem because all you're getting is a slightly pink colouring in the centre of your petals, which it actually adds to it. And the Wink of Stella on the flower is going to then tie in with your background card that you've put the Wink of Stella edging on. I'm just going to finish that off with some enamel, what these are called, no, glitter enamel dots. Now I'm going to go with the Granny Green Apple, so I'm tying then in my flowers back in with the leaves, and the biggest one works with this particular flower because you've got this nice big centre. Actually, I should have stuck this on when I'd stuck that on the card, but there you go. Only because I've now got a wreath that I'm trying to glue over. I'm getting signals that I'm running out of time, and so I'm just going to pop that on there. And I'm just going to add a couple of little dots of lovely lipstick onto this one, just to yeah, just give it another little bit of detail. So again, we tend to say use odd numbers, so we've got 5 here, although I've only got 2 of those. We've actually got 5, and that seems to work quite well. And again, it makes it a different, same card but slightly different. And the envelope, which I won't bother doing, but I've actually stamped that, so I've used the same flower on the card. That was the envelope for this one, but I'll do the same envelope for that. But again, it's just this leaf stamp with the flower, and then I've stuck another one on the back. So I haven't really got time to do the third card that I planned, so what I'll do, I'll download this one and then I will come back with another video just to share with you another technique. So it's the same card but just another little addition to this card. So as usual, I will put all the product details at the front of the video and a link to my online shop. So obviously all the things that I've used can be bought via the online shop. You can also browse the catalogue, spring summer catalogue and the annual catalogue, and the celebration brochure, which basically means that for every £45 you spend, excluding postage and packing, you get to choose a free item, which ranges between designer series paper and stamp sets and some embellishments. So do give that a look. As usual, the Facebook links, Pinterest and Instagram links will be there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope it's been useful to just go back to something a little bit more basic. So next time, as I say, same card, but I'm just going to share with you a technique that I used on this card just to make this one a little bit different. So I will be back very soon. If I didn't say that, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would also be great. So I think that's it from Ollie, who's fast asleep, and from Timmy and Marley, who have now made their peace and are also fast asleep. I will see you again very soon. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bye.